Hello guys. Today I am going to be talking about another random topic that kind of just popped into my head, and that was first-person shooter repetitiveness and why first-person shooters don't function very well as competitive esports. Alright, now I know about Quake, I know about the good old days, Wolfenstein, all that stuff. And those were great, really fun competitive shooters, alright? But I'm talking sort of about the modern day and what's become of the first person shooter genre and why I think it is kind of got away from its original path. Now, the game that I'm talking over actually is kind of a good example of something that's pretty unique in the first person shooter genre, but isn't really known by a lot of people, and that's Tribes Ascend, which is developed by Hi-Res Studios, and it's a really cool game. There's these really powerful projectiles, called spin fusers, do a lot of damage. And it's also mixed in with traditional guns like, assault rifles, which you can kind of see me using here, and all that good stuff. And you can also, ski across the terrain and glide along and also jet up. So you have a jetpack and all that cool stuff. But I'm not here to talk about Tribes. I'm here to talk about some of the more traditional and standard first-person shooters, sort of like Call of Duty or Battlefield, Medal of Honor, all that stuff. Now, basically, those games all, in my eyes, are pretty much exactly the same. Keep in mind, this is my personal opinion, but really, when it all comes down, it's just the only thing skillful in those games is really whoever can track their target more effectively and get on target faster. And I know that there's other things mixed in, like, map knowledge and all that stuff, but that's not really as much skill-based as it is sort of just memorizing certain routes and stuff. And that's kind of why I don't think first-person shooters are very successful as competitive games, because if you take MOBAs, for example, a fairly young genre, that function incredibly well as competitive games, there's so much within those games. There's the actual fighting, which is very skillful, where you have to be able to, move your character in effective positions. There's jungling, all that types of things. There's in-depth combat it can be, easy to learn, but extremely difficult to master. So that's really something that makes the MOBA genre, I'm talking, about League of Legends, to be specific, very, really fun to watch in an esports environment. Now, if you take Call of Duty, for example, what Call of Duty comes down to is it's a twitch shooter. Whoever gets on target first wins. Now, in a competitive setting, that's not really that entertaining to watch, honestly. It comes down to just holding down routes and positioning, being in the correct position. But really, there isn't anything exciting or special about that. Like, in this game, Tribes Ascend, I think this would be a really cool esport, in my opinion, because there's incredibly difficult skill shots, and you can also go incredibly fast speeds. I'll put in a video of me capping right now. You can see it playing capture the flag. You can go upwards of 300 kilometers per hour, on incredibly skillful routes. So I think that's what's needed for the FPS genre to accelerate. They need to put in more skillful elements into the first-person shooter genre to be able to compete with the skill-based elements in MOBA games. So I think that's the problem that's really being faced right now. Most first-person shooters that are being released currently are similar in a lot of ways, and the MOBA genre is something that is completely new to us. You have just something that we really haven't seen before, and that's why it's so appealing to people. I mean, it's incredibly skillful, it's a ton of fun. There's just a lot of different things that we haven't seen in MOBAs that's really drawing our attention. And I personally am a huge advocate of first-person shooter games. I love playing first-person shooters, and MOBA games really don't appeal to me that much, but that's me personally. But so I want to see first-person shooters be, growing and developing to be at a more skillful level to be in this esports environment. I want to see, new games like this Tribe Ascend game be developing as an esport to be competing with the MOBA genre. Because I think first-person shooters have a place in a competitive environment. But with the games that are currently being released and just how almost bland they are, to be honest, I don't think that can happen, which is unfortunate. But developers need to break away, I guess. Like, if you were to compare Call of Duty, Battlefield, Medal of Honor to first-person shooters like Quake, where there's just so many skillful elements, like, you can go into Quake with no experience and have a good time, but if you put in, hours of work just playing the game, you will reach a level where you are significantly better than other players. And that's something that needs to be in first-person shooters. There needs to be a easy entry level, but also incredibly high skill gap. And that's something I think Tribes Ascend is failing at, and I think that may be why it isn't as successful, because at an entry level of Tribe Ascend, you're going to be suffering and you're going to be dying a lot because you're not going to know how to play the game. But if you do stick with it and put the time into it, you'll have a blast playing it and it'll be really fun. So it's important for first-person shooters to find that balance, because you need to be holding players and you need to be, have a positive community to be keeping the players in. And I think League of Legends and other MOBAs do that extremely well, because they have these great tutorials, they have mostly kind community, but so it's up to the community, and it's up to the community needs to work and the game developers need to work. The community needs to be positive towards new players, help them grow to get, skillful, and the developers need to be brave enough to vary the content that they're producing. I know that producing games like Call of Duty is a safe bet, Year after year, you're gonna get consumers that are gonna buy it. But, you need to be a little innovative. You need to create content that's new, refreshing, because in the long run, Call of Duty isn't going to last forever. You're going to need things that are creative, new, and that's the only way that I can see first-person shooters really taking over in the competitive world. So, if you enjoyed the commentary, guys, please leave a like rating. But I'm curious to see your opinions of first-person shooters, competitive gameplay. So leave a comment, because I'm curious to see what you guys think. So I'll see you guys next commentary. Bye.